All right, another great show on tap for today's Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, appreciate all of you for making Warriors Today a part of your day. And let me know where you're watching from, too, by the way. We take a look at all the analytics, and it's pretty fascinating to see that we have viewers tuned in from all across the globe. So let us know where you're watching from. And before we get started, competition brings the best out of everybody. That's what makes Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green great. That's what's made this Warriors dynasty so special. And here at Chat Sports, we've been at this competition for a long time between Warriors Today and the Los Angeles Lakers Report. For some context here, I took over the channel here March of 2021, so more than 2 years ago. And we were at 13,000 subscribers at the time. We have blossomed. We've blown up to 48,310 subscribers. But it is my goal to beat the Lakers Report to 50,000 subscribers. Now, we have an uphill battle here, but given our worldwide audience, I think that we can catch the Lakers Report. Right now, they have 49,734 subscribers. So we're about 1,400 subs away from catching them, and I think that we can get to 50K first. Now, if you're not familiar with the show, I'm Chase Senior. We do Warriors shows multiple times per week. News, analysis, rumors, trade deadline coverage, free agency coverage, NBA draft coverage. We literally do it all. I promise you, you won't be disappointed in our stuff and in our content. So subscribe and lock us in. All right. Big game for the Warriors tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. And according to Anthony Slater, there were some injury concerns for the Warriors heading into this one for Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, both listed as probable for this game here on Tuesday night. Neck soreness for Draymond Green, left wrist soreness for Jordan Poole. You might be thinking, okay, it's probably good to maybe rest one, if not both of those players. I actually disagree. In this era of NBA basketball in which load management has become a thing, Warriors can't afford to have guys sitting out. That's because this game is massive for implications in the Western Conference playoffs. Warriors-Pelicans, huge game in the West. Golden State currently the 7th seed at 39-37. The Pelicans are the 8th seed at 38-37. Right now, if the season were to end after the Warriors' awful choke job of a loss to the Timberwolves on Sunday night, both of these teams would be in the NBA play-in tournament and not have a spot in the actual NBA playoffs. And the jockeying of the Western Conference standings here between all three of those teams, Timberwolves, Warriors, Pelicans, it's real right now. It's close with only several games left to play here in the regular season. The Warriors need to find their footing, find their groove, and find any way to avoid the NBA play-in tournament. So with that, who you got tonight? Is it the Warriors type GSW? Is it the Pelicans type NO? I have the Dubs. I think that they understand the implications of this basketball game, the magnitude of this matchup. They're going to rise to the occasion. Let's move forward here. Latest on Gary Payton II made his debut during that Warriors-Timberwolves game on Sunday. You saw his immediate impact with what he was able to do, fitting in like a chess piece on the offensive end of the floor, then having that impact defensively. The block on Karl Anthony Towns, of course, was a really good one. The Warriors staff, happy to have him back. The Warriors organization, happy to have him back. That's why they made the trade for him, basically giving up James Wiseman to get back GP2. And the players on this team also ecstatic to have Gary Payton II back. Klay Thompson said, quote, "He's such a good player, so good around the rim, so good on defense. He's just going to be a huge asset for us moving forward." And I couldn't agree more. If you're going to be without Andrew Wiggins, you need a player like Gary Payton II to give you that defensive spark that Wiggins did give you last year when he was the second best player for the Warriors in the NBA playoffs and in the NBA Finals, and was able to play stellar defense against one of the top wings in the NBA in Jason Tatum en route to that NBA championship. Warriors have not issued a statement as far as Andrew Wiggins' status goes, so we're not sure if he's going to be back or not. But to have Gary Payton II back when it wasn't sure if he was going to be back into the lineup because of that adductor injury. Now that he's back, getting acclimated, getting in shape, increasing his conditioning level, that defensive tenacity that you saw on Sunday against the Timberwolves, which is what this team thrived off of with Andrew Wiggins. They lose it with Wiggins. They get some of that back with Gary Payton II. I'm not saying he's the same defensive player as Wiggins because that wouldn't be right to say. Cap on that, as the younger generation would allude to. But Gary Payton II, a very good defensive player who can also do some things offensively. Cut to the rim, throw down some dunks, hit some corner threes, put the ball on the floor at least a little bit, and just factor in offensively as a guy who understands the system and is a good component of that system. As for the Warriors filing that grievance against the Trailblazers for the GP2 trade, according to Chris Haynes, after further review, Golden State will not be pursuing any legal action, grievance, or review by the NBA regarding the GP2 trade with Portland. The Warriors felt at the time that the Blazers may have withheld medical information in that trade for GP2 because there were some questions about whether or not he was going to be able to return at all this season, including the playoffs, or in the regular season. He's back, though. He's in the fold, so it looks as though the Warriors, because of that, not going to pursue any legal action against the Portland Trailblazers. Let's round out with this. I caught a pretty cool article, interesting one by Bleacher Report on players who are untouchable. Trade assets who are untouchable on every team in the NBA. The players that they deemed untouchable and untradeable. Steph Curry, obviously, because he's one of the top players in the NBA, still coming off the NBA Finals MVP award. Klay Thompson and Kevon Looney. They said Kevon Looney is one of the more bargain contracts that you get bang for your buck for in the NBA, and then Klay Thompson making more than $40 million, maybe not worth it for another team to take on because of some of the injury issues, although Klay Thompson has played spectacular basketball this year, and it's been great to see as he had a couple of really difficult years mentally and physically with the Achilles injury, the torn ACL, wasn't the same guy last year, and this year has really come into his own. So the players that they did deem as tradable assets, Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga. Here's what Bleacher Report said. The two players on the Warriors bubble, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, their athleticism and perimeter defense alone are borderline invaluable. Still, should Golden State fall woefully short of expectations this postseason and need a blockbuster trade to rejoin the championship race, Kuminga and Wiggins are the two trade chips who could make that happen. Draymond Green deserves a mention too, given his importance as a defender and distributor, but he holds a $27.6 million player option next year and hasn't exactly tied his future to the team. If he's looking to get paid this summer, and he might be, there is absolutely a scenario in which Golden State moves on without him. So I don't think that you're going to trade Draymond Green at that salary number, but also he might be looking for a new deal. He might opt out of that player option and go somewhere else to a team that is willing to pay him. And why would they trade for him if they know that they can get him potentially in free agency if he opts out of that player option? If the Warriors do fall short this postseason, and it's totally possible given their inconsistencies, I'm still fascinated to see how they would do in a playoff series against the Sacramento Kings, which would be a potential 3-6 matchup, with the Phoenix Suns, which could be like a 4-5 matchup. Later on in the playoffs against the Grizzlies or the Denver Nuggets, the experience factor tells me they can still win a playoff series like that. Their playoff acumen and mental wherewithal tells me that they can win that playoff series, but everything that we've seen throughout this year tells me that they're going to come up short because they've been way too maddeningly inconsistent this year. But let's say that the Warriors do fall short, right? And they feel as though they need to improve this roster. You have some decisions to certainly weigh. You sign Jordan Poole to that extension. You sign Andrew Wiggins to that extension. Jonathan Kuminga, I believe, is a really, really valuable piece to have on your team. And I think that he can become at some point a Jaylen Brown type of player. I think we've already seen flashes of that. The improvements from year 1 to year 2, the athletic traits, the size, the ability, the two-way threat that Jonathan Kuminga does pose. But because of everything that I just said, and because of his potential, teams look at him as a very valuable asset, and they might be willing to trade a veteran all-star type of player for Jonathan Kuminga. That's where he becomes interesting. For Andrew Wiggins, you obviously have to tread lightly here because of the mental health stuff going on and why he's out of the lineup because of personal reasons, but him too. If a team looks at Andrew Wiggins and they're like, man, he was the second best player throughout much of that playoff run and in the NBA Finals behind Steph Curry, high-level defense, rebounding, improved three-point shot, as this year he was knocking down nearly 40% of those tries from deep prior to him going out and missing now tonight 20 straight games. They might look at him as a valuable asset as well. I just don't think the Warriors are going to trade either of those players. You bring him back, you run it back, and you see if you can catch that magic in the bottle once again, like the Warriors were able to do last year. All right, last question for you. Let us know in the comments section your favorite player on the Warriors right now. I know a lot of you are going to say Steph, but some others might say a different player. So let me know. Drop that name down in the comments section. And another reminder to subscribe. Warriors today, 48,310 subscribers. Lakers report, 49,734. Can we beat them to 50K? It would be miraculous, and we get some bragging rights here. Appreciate y'all for watching. We'll catch you next time here on the show.